Caffeine causes a crisis response. And whenever there's a crisis in your body naturally raises blood pressure in preparation because you're about to do the run or the climb or the fight of your life, as usually happens in a crisis. But actually the person's just sitting in the coffee shop or in the kitchen, and there is actually no crisis, even though a crisis was created. But meantime, the blood pressure has gone up. So now the body reacts and adapts to that rise to try and bring out the balance.
Dr. Barbara O'Neill, a naturopath and expert in natural health, believes the body can heal with the right support. One of her key teachings is that high blood pressure can often be managed or reversed naturally. She highlights the importance of understanding the true causes, such as diet, stress, and lifestyle, which play a bigger role than many realize. In this video, Dr. Barbara O'Neill will uncover the root causes of high blood pressure and share natural ways to manage it. Some of these insights may surprise you, especially if you rely solely on medication. Stay tuned for practical tips to take control of your health.
Lots of 8-ounce glasses of water a day. And with that 8 ounce, every time you begin a glass of water, the whole salt. Now, the reason why we're told not to eat salt, especially if you've had heart disease of any type or strokes, is because we're told that salt will harden the arteries. Is that right? Well, the industrial salt will, but not the whole salt, because the whole salt has approximately, I think the Celtic, they say 82, the Baja salt, they claim 84. There's 3 magnesiums, and that magnesium, when you put that salt on your tongue, the mucous membranes in the mouth absorb the magnesiums, take it to your cell membrane, and then you drink the water. That magnesium pulls the water inside the cell. There's no need to mix the salt in the water. We should be drinking pure water. And if you put it in the water, it's just dissolved into the water. But if you put it in your mouth, the mucous membranes take those minerals straight to the cell, you drink your water, and you pull the water inside the cell. How does salt raise the blood pressure? There's one salt that will raise blood pressure, and that's sodium chloride. That's the harsh industrial salt. We need the whole salt.
Whole salt, like unrefined sea salt or Himalayan salt, is rich in essential trace minerals needed for the body to function well. Unlike refined table salt, which is mostly sodium chloride, whole salt contains minerals like magnesium that aid hydration, cellular function, and balance. Whole salt helps regulate water and minerals in and out of cells, preventing issues like high blood pressure and fluid retention. Taking a small amount of whole salt directly supports cellular hydration and electrolyte balance. It also supports adrenal function, providing the minerals needed to manage stress and maintain energy. When paired with proper hydration, whole salt promotes overall health, balance, and stability in the body.
Looking at this, I'd like to start listing the causes of high blood pressure. So one of the causes of high blood pressure is table salt. Another cause of high blood pressure is no salt, as I have explained. Lining the gastrointestinal tract, especially as we'll see tomorrow, are villi. And on the villi, there are receptor sites for the glucose that's broken down from the food that we eat. The glucose comes into the receptor site and there's a carrier there, and the carrier will take the glucose through to the blood. But the carrier says, I will not accept you glucose unless you come with a molecule of sodium. When sodium is present, then the carrier will take the glucose through to the blood. Now, I have memorized this from the Anatomy and Physiology book, so I could give it to you from the horse's mouth. Sodium is the main transport system of glucose across the brush border wall and into the blood. So you can see a salt-free diet's crazy. If someone's on a salt-free diet, some of their glucose can't even get into the blood. It ends up in the little house. So salt is important, but it needs to be taken in its balanced form. And the Bible talks about salt. It's in Matthew 5, chapter 5, verse 13. It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth. If the salt hath lost its savour, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and trodden under foot of men." It's Old English. I love the Old English. Very poetic, easy to memorise. How does the salt lose its savour? I'd like to suggest that this salt has lost its savour. Its savour is all the other minerals. And what does the Bible say? It's henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and trodden under foot of men. Well, there's one use for it. When we're at Misty Mountain in the wet season, there are leeches. And if you get a leech on you and put the table salt on it, it'll fall off. I can't think of anything else. I don't suppose you have leeches here, no? Too cold. So that's the salt issue. And my endeavour was to explain these things to you so that you will no more be confused about the salt. In his book, The Calcium Lie, Dr. Robert Thompson, he maintained should we have that little bit of salt just to replace the minerals that we lost yesterday in our urine, in our sweat. We need salt. Let's continue the causes of high blood pressure. Another cause of high blood pressure can be a vitamin D deficiency. How so? Well, calcium is a very important mineral. And calcium cannot get into the cell by itself. Calcium needs vitamin D. And when vitamin D is present, calcium is pulled into the cell. And when calcium's pulled into the cell, all the other minerals piggyback on the back of calcium. And this is why calcium is called the king. Because calcium's called the king, because when calcium gets in, all the other minerals get in, it's been misunderstood to the point where people think if they want strong bones, they've got to take calcium supplements. No, no, no. Calcium hardens cement, but it doesn't harden bones, because bones aren't made of calcium. Bones are made of minerals. Bones are made of 12 minerals and 64 trace minerals. Well, where do we find those minerals? In the Celtic salt, in its perfect form. Where else? Dark green leafy vegetables. Look at the size of the bones of the cow, of the orangutan, of the elephant. They're all vegetarian creatures and they've got very big bones. Where do they get their minerals for their bones from? Dark green leafy vegetables. We should eat dark green leafy vegetables every day. And you do not lose your minerals when you cook your vegetables. You will only lose your minerals if you cook your vegetables in water and throw the water away. There's all your minerals. Use waterless cooking. Put the tiniest little bit of water in, put it on a low heat with the lid on and let it slowly cook. And then use it all. But with spinach, silver beet, you don't even need to put water in there, do you? So much water comes out of it. When you cook vegetables in their own juice, you get a lovely flavour. So vitamin D deficiency can cause high blood pressure because if there's a deficiency in vitamin C, the calcium and the minerals can't get in. And what the body does, it builds up pressure to try and force it in.